Hello and welcome. I'm Sonia Simak, founder of the Systemic Wisdom Process, and I want to thank you for spending this time with me. Today, we begin a new journey together, a journey into wholeness. Now, wholeness is a word we hear often. We speak about becoming whole, finding ourselves, or healing ourselves. Yet, many of us spend our lives believing that becoming whole means becoming better, becoming stronger, wiser, or somehow more acceptable. From a systemic perspective, that isn't how wholeness works. Wholeness doesn't begin when everything is perfect. It begins when nothing within us has to remain excluded. Throughout this series, we are going to explore how our families, our experiences, our relationships, and even our painful moments have shaped the way we see ourselves. And more importantly, we'll discover how we can begin coming home, not to an ideal version of ourselves, but to the whole person we've always been. So, make yourself comfortable. Take a slow breath and let's begin. I'd like to ask you a simple question. Have you ever felt that part of you wasn't acceptable? Perhaps you learned to hide your tears. Perhaps you hid your anger. Perhaps you hid your dreams. Maybe you learned that asking for help made you weak. Or perhaps being successful made others uncomfortable. And without even realizing it, many of us become expert at editing ourselves. We present the version that seems acceptable, the version that fits, the version that earns love. And gradually, we forget that there are many other parts waiting quietly inside us. Today, I'd like to suggest something different. You sometimes feel incomplete isn't because something is missing. Perhaps something has simply been left outside the door. Imagine walking into a beautiful old family home. The garden is immaculate, the walls are freshly painted, every room is beautifully decorated. Everything appears perfect until someone quietly says, "There's a room we never open. The door remains locked. Nobody speaks about what's inside. Guests are never taken there." Over time, everyone simply behaves as though the room doesn't exist. Yet, the house never feels quite complete. It always carries a subtle feeling that something is unfinished. Eventually, one day, someone opens the door. Inside, there isn't a monster. There isn't a catastrophe. There is simply dust. Old photographs, forgotten memories. Perhaps a few things needing attention. And once the room is opened, something changes. The house breathes differently. Nothing outside has changed, yet everything feels different because nothing is excluded anymore. I often think our inner world is very much like that house. Many of us have beautiful rooms. The room where we succeed, the room where we're kind, the room where we're responsible, the room where we're spiritual. And then there are rooms we've quietly locked. Our fear, our shame, our disappointment, our grief, our anger, our vulnerability, our longing. Those rooms don't disappear because we close the door. They simply wait. So let's look at the systemic teaching in this. Belonging comes before healing. One of the most beautiful understandings within systemic work is that every member belongs, whether we approve of their actions or not, whether we know their story or not, whether we understand them or not. This principle doesn't apply only to families. It applies inside us as well. Every emotion belongs. Every experience belongs. Every season of life belongs. And every part of your story belongs. Every part. Yes, every part of your story belongs. As children, however, we quickly learn which parts seem welcome. If smiling brings approval, we smile. If crying brings rejection, we hide our tears. If achieving earns attention, we become achievers. If staying quiet keeps peace, we become invisible. These adaptations are incredibly intelligent. They help us survive. Children don't choose authenticity. Children choose belonging. That is one of the deepest systemic truths. A child will sacrifice authenticity long before sacrificing belonging. Because belonging means survival. And so we slowly build identities around what keeps us connected. We become the responsible one, the strong one, the successful one, the peacemaker, the helper, the invisible child. These identities are not wrong. They served us. They protected us. They helped us navigate our families and environments. The challenge comes later. We forget that these identities are only parts of us. They're not the whole of who we are. So I want to look at a different definition of wholeness. Are you with me still? Let's look at it. Many people believe healing means removing pain, or fixing flaws, or becoming positive all the time. Systemically, I see this differently. Wholeness is not the absence of pain. It is the willingness to include every part of your experience within your life story. And I'm going to keep emphasizing it. It is the willingness to include every part of your experience within your life story that brings you into the wholeness. Imagine creating a beautiful puzzle. If one piece is missing, the picture remains incomplete. Doesn't matter how beautiful the other pieces are. The missing piece still matters. And the same is true within us. Your sadness matters. Your courage matters. Your mistakes matter. Your resilience matters. Your failures matter. And your wisdom matters. Everything has contributed to the person sitting here today. Nothing is wasted. Even experiences we would never have chosen often become the places where compassion is born. So I want us to have a little bit of a look. Throughout my own life, I've discovered that healing has never happened because I became someone different. Oh yes, I tried. But healing happened every time I became willing to stop arguing with parts of my own story. There were moments I wish they never happened. Losses, unexpected turns, questions. Like many people, I discovered that resisting my story consumed far more energy than accepting that it had become part of me. Acceptance did not mean approval. It meant allowing reality to belong. And once reality belonged, I could begin living again. Right now, I'd like you to simply sit with these questions. And there's no need to answer immediately. Just notice what arises. Which part of yourself do you work hardest to hide? When did you first decide that part wasn't welcome? A hidden part could speak today. What would it want to know? And perhaps the most important question of all, what if that part isn't asked to be fixed? What if that part is simply asking to belong? Let's finish today with a simple practice. Sit comfortably, place one hand over your heart, take a slow breath in and slowly breathe out. Again, allow your shoulders to soften. And now imagine standing before yourself, not the version you show the world, simply new, exactly as you are. Notice every part, the confident part, the uncertain part, the joyful part, the grieving part, the hopeful part, the tired part. Allow each one to stand beside the others. Nothing needs to leave. Nothing needs to improve. Simply notice them. And now gently repeat, either silently or aloud. I welcome every part of myself. I no longer need to reject myself to belong. Thank you. I choose compassion instead of judgment. And I'll allow every part of my life to have its rightful place. I'm learning to come home to myself. Yes. Take one final deep breath and notice how your body feels. Today, we've explored a simple yet profound truth. Wholeness doesn't begin when life becomes perfect. It begins when we stop excluding parts of ourselves. Belonging is not something we earn. It is something we remember. And as you move through this week, I invite you to notice the moments when you hide parts of yourself. Not to criticize yourself, simply to become aware. Awareness is always the first step towards wisdom. And next time, yeah, there will be a next time, we'll explore the parts of me I left behind and discover how our earliest experiences shape the identities we still carry today and how we can begin gently reclaiming the forgotten parts of ourselves. If this conversation has spoken to you, I'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments. What is the part of yourself you are beginning to welcome home? And if you found value in today's reflection, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need this reminder. Together, we're creating a community committed to wisdom-inspired living, where healing isn't about becoming someone else, but about remembering who we've always been. Until next time, may you walk gently with yourself, honor your journey, and remember, you are not becoming whole. You are discovering what wholeness has been waiting for you all along. And yes, you know the YouTube part. Do the subscribe, do the share, do the like, leave a comment. I'd really welcome that. And until we meet again, be safe.